Create Better Health Snap Ad program. Welcome guys, so glad to have you here with me. Today we're going to be making a simple potato dish that can be satisfying for lunch or dinner, whichever you would like to have. And oh, also it makes a really good leftover too. Potatoes are so versatile and inexpensive. Now this dish can be done with a russet potato, or you could even do a sweet potato. That would work out too. But because you guys have the instant, I don't have my box with me, instant dry potatoes, we're going to use those today in your box, in your senior citizen food box. SOS sauce is going to be in the comment section below this video, so you can have all the recipes that you can use with it, and I know you're going to love it. Then I also put it in a Ziploc bag, but you could put it in any kind of plastic container that you have. That would work out too. And I also put the recipe here so that it's convenient and fast. I don't have to look for my recipe book. And all right, so what's in this is 2 cups of instant dry milk, and it could be any kind. It could be the powdered dry milk. It could be the instant. The only thing is with the dry powdered milk is it takes a little more whipping in to get that whipped into your water. So just be aware of that. And you always use cold water when we're using this mix, just so you remember. All right, I also have my oatmeal box that I put my gallon size bag in. It just holds it for me. I don't normally have someone here to do that for me, so I have to use my trusty oatmeal box to do that. And I usually cover it with contact paper, but this one didn't have that. All right, so 2 cups of instant dry milk go in here. And make sure you have some water ready to go for your dishes and that you've washed your hands, okay? All right, then we're gonna put some cornstarch, and the cornstarch is why we have to use the cold water, and that's 3/4 cup. There's a 1/4 and a 1/4 right there. And then we're going to use a 1/4 of a cup of the granuled type of chicken bouillon, or you could use beef as well. I have used both. So if you use more ground beef, or if you use more chicken, you can kind of switch back and forth, or have one of each. Okay. Then we have Italian seasoning, and we want a couple of tablespoons of that too. And I wouldn't recommend doing this because if you're like me, you spill into your bag and you'll have extra seasoning, which wouldn't maybe be too bad, but it might be too strong. Okay, there's one. Now on the dried onions, I didn't have that, and if that's the case for you too, you can always use onion powder and it will work just as good. You're gonna do a teaspoon for every tablespoon. So, oh wait, this is not the right one. A teaspoon for every tablespoon. So we're gonna need 2 is all there is to it. Isn't that great? And then just go ahead and seal that up, just like so. So when you're mixing it, it doesn't fly on your face. Oh, can you tell that I've done that? I have. Okay, so let's mix this up. And that's it. How easy is that, right? And now, I can't think of an easier way to start a base, okay, or a gravy. Or this will make 9 cream soup cans. It will equal that. And you can use it for anything that uses chicken soup, cream of chicken soup, celery chicken soup. And all you do is add the celery or the mushrooms or nothing at all. And it's all by itself, just chicken cream soup, okay? Don't buy those mixes that are already done up for dinner. You can make your own. All right, so I got that going, and I'm gonna put this aside really quick. All right, so I'm gonna get my pan going here. So we're all ready. And let's see. Okay, we're going to turn this on a medium high and then get your wooden spoon ready and whatnot. We're going to put this right here. How's that sound? So you guys can see. All right, and remember to use my plate when you are making your meals, and at least have 3 of those food groups in your meal, which we will have. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make the instant mashed potatoes. And so you're going to take your instant dry potatoes and you're going to put it in a cup and one cup and 1/3 water. Okay. And then we're going to add some instant dry milk, a tablespoon of instant milk, whatever you have is fine. And we're going to just put that right in the water and mix that going up. And then this is optional. You can use butter or margarine, whatever you have at home, just a little bit of fat. Just you could even use a tablespoon of Greek yogurt. That would work. All right. Get that in there. Get all that yummy milk in there. All right, then we're going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to sprinkle that however you would like in there. And then we're going to use some garlic powder. And that garlic powder is 1/2 teaspoon. So let's get that in there as well. And it will do really well and will start dissolving that water, which is what we want. Okay, mix that up. Get your butter to where, or whatever you've used in there, to the point where it's melting. And when that butter is melted, then you can, and your water is steaming and getting to the point of a boil, then it's going to be ready. All right, now let you see that. That's kind of what it looks like, kind of a milky base. Okay, now I've got some instant dry milk on my spoon here. Better get it all off. Gotta get all this yumminess off. Okay. And it looks like it's melting really fast, so we're just about there. And we're gonna add our potatoes. They're instant dry potatoes. And then you're gonna put your dishes in the sink with your soapy water so they're already soaking. And that will make it really easy for you on cleanup. All right, and then that's it. Look at this. Look how awesome that is. It's ready. And how fast. We'll turn this off and push it to the side for a minute. Then I'm going to take my plate right here and I'm just going to put a spoonful of these potatoes, and they are so yummy. Wait till you try them. You know, a lot of times I think we forget to season our instant potatoes, and I think it's important to do that so that the flavor is just there and you just think, oh, they're fresh, and they're really not. Okay. I'm just going to mound this just in a little bit, and this serves 2 people. So if you have a second person in your home, then it will serve both of you. Or if you want some for lunch or the next dinner, that would work out good. And then we're just going to put a well in the middle of this and see we have enough for another person or for leftovers. And they work out really well for leftovers. And if this potato is too dry for you, add a little bit of milk or add a little bit more water. That would be okay. Okay, so that's all ready for our topping. Okay. All right. And our topping, I'm going to use a separate pan, is the SOS sauce. And we're going to start it with some cold water, like I told you before. And we're going to use 1 cup of cold water. So we'll get that in there really quick before we turn our heat up. And then we're going to use our SOS sauce in here. And this is when we're gonna mix it so that it doesn't clump up. We don't want it to clump up, right? All right, so now we've got that milky stage again. It looks like that. All right, then we're going to add some canned chicken. You could use tuna, you could use salmon, just about any canned goods that you have that have meat in it or no meat at all. It's up to you. I've even put sometimes wheat berries in here that I've soaked, and oh my goodness, it adds that chewiness to this dish and it's very yummy. Okay, so how much of the chicken? A half of a can of the drained chicken goes in. And you're gonna wanna chop that up a little bit because sometimes those chunks are kind of big. And I hope you're having a good day today. Okay, then we're gonna do vegetables. And we're gonna need a half a cup of those. And if we get a little extra, that's okay. And then, if you want, when this gets done and you pour it over your potatoes, you could sprinkle it with a little bit of fresh parsley or dry parsley, whatever you have. That will work out really well. And then maybe even a little teeny bit of cheese if you've got some, which I think that you get in your box as well. All right, this is coming to a boil. Isn't this easy and so fun? Remember that if you're going to use like the baked potato and or the sweet potato, they do have a little bit difference in your minerals and stuff. The white potato actually has more potassium than your sweet potato, but on the other hand, sweet potato has more beta carotene or vitamin A than the white potato. They also have fiber, which is really good for you, and it helps you in your stomach and your intestines, and it keeps everything nice and clean and disease-free, okay? At least it helps anyway. All right, so this is coming together really fast, like I told you it would. And you could do these in the microwave, just punch one little hole in them, and then cook them for, this is a pretty big potato, so I would do this for 3 minutes in the microwave, depending on your watts, if it's 900 watt microwave, and then put it in some foil for about a half hour, and that will make it so it's not so crystallized. You know, sometimes that gets really kind of crystallized if you don't let it steam itself, and it's really important that you do that. And the same goes for your sweet potato too. One whole, 2 to 3 minutes in the microwave, and then put it in some foil. Okay, so here is this yumminess right here. Look how thick that is. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I should get closer. All right. That's what that looks like. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, and we're gonna put this on top of our potatoes. And there we go, just enough for 2 people. Isn't that something? We still have some left. All right. And then I am going to put some parsley, just because it's pretty. I love the green contrast to the dish. Okay, and then a little teeny bit of cheese. This is what this looks like without the cheese. And then we're just gonna put a little bit of cheese on top, and there you go. Now, isn't that awesome? That is beautiful. Who wouldn't want that for dinner? I'm gonna have that for dinner. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about balance and flexibility. It's really important when we're at our age that we have good balance and flexibility if we can. My flexibility's kind of gone out the window with my knee problems, but I can do it on a chair, and so can you. So get yourself a chair and make sure you're holding on to it like this, and then, you know, making sure that you're safe at all times and doing your exercises and, you know, bending this way and then bending this way and then holding on to the back of the chair and doing your leg lifts, and just keeping up with your exercising in some way. And then go for a walk if you want later on in the day, or if you are have more stability and better balance, you could start dancing or play with your grandkids, and that would be so fun. Thanks for joining me from my home to yours.